Hey guys, this is going to be sort of a get to know me kind of video. So I'm going to talk to you about how I got into anime and cosplay. So, by the way, this is going to be my new setup with all my my figures are in the background and all my other such nerd stuff is in the background. So, I'm going to this for my at-home vlogs. This is going to be the setup. I probably should have made this video before that, but I want to make sure to get this video out here before we jump into the EAC stuff. So anyway, let's get started. I mean, when I got into anime, this dates back to this dates back as far as the mid-90s when I was a kid. I remember, of course, at that point I didn't really know what anime really was. I just sort of thought it was like a regular cartoon. I didn't really know anything about anime in Japan, and I didn't really know much about that kind of stuff when I was at that age, but it all started when my mom, we were walking around Sam's Club, and my mom saw this video VHS tapes of movies for kids and stuff, and the one that we took interest in immediately out of all of them was Kiki's Delivery Service. And I'm gonna say it right now, I love that movie. Like, that movie I can watch over and over and over again without getting sick and tired of it. So it was definitely a perfect start for all of this. So she bought it, and then my sister and I would always keep watching it. It was like our favorite movie at the time. Like, we wanted to be like Kiki, we wanted to be witches, and we wanted to be fly around. We wanted to fly away and settle in our own area like Kiki did. But of course, we could never do that. But you know, when you're a kid, you kind of think you can do anything, and then it comes crashing down later on that you can't. So the first actual anime TV show that I actually watched, I believe it was either Sailor Moon or Pokemon. Like, Sailor Moon, I think it started airing in America in 1996. And I don't have very much memory of watching it, but I remember I always loved it as a kid. Like, I always wanted all this stuff for it. I remember I used to buy, like, the Sailor Moon dolls they sold. That was in 2000, so the show was kind of, I think that was before, I think that was, like, after Deke's seasons aired. And I think that was when S and Super S were kind of airing at that time. This wig is kind of just, I don't know, I might have to fix that. But yeah, I think that was when S and Super S were airing, because I remember they had Sailor Moon, Neptune, and Pluto and Uranus dolls at that point, and Chibi Moon. Well, no, it was Mini Moon in that dub. So this is back. This is back when people did not like anime. Like, subtitle anime was very hard to come by at this time. So if you want to watch any anime, you had to watch it in English dub and on television. Like, unless you knew somebody in Japan, or you knew a connection in Japan where you can get it from Japan. But this is back in the time when, I already stated that before, but at that point I didn't really care about subs and dubs and all that stuff. That stuff did not come to my attention until at least in 7th grade is when I became aware of dubs and subs. And then I was also really huge into Pokemon. I think I was more into Pokemon than Sailor Moon at that point, but I still really love Sailor Moon. I always watched Pokemon, like, every day when I got back from school, I'd watch Pokemon. Like, they either like re-aired episodes, or they showed some new ones, but I'd always be watching it. And then along with that, I used to watch Card Captors. That was also one of my favorite ones that I used to watch as a kid. But that is when, you know, again, had the really crappy dub, but when I was a kid I didn't even care about that. I just loved the show, and I enjoyed it. So Sailor Moon, Pokemon, and Card Captors as Card Soccer were really big ones for me. That's what really, like, those are the ones I've always watched. I watched some Dragon Ball Z every now and then. I mean, they used to have, the Toonami used to be in, like, around the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock block back then. So I used to watch a lot of Toonami on TV. What I used to watch a lot after school was Pokemon, and Card Captors, and then Dragon Ball Z. Of course, I wasn't really into Dragon Ball Z that much. I sort of watched it because it was on. It happened to be on, and I didn't have anything else to watch, so I watched some Dragon Ball Z. And I also saw a bit of Tenchi Muyo and a little bit of Yu Yu Hakusho. So those were on Toonami. Like the heavily cut version of Yu Yu Hakusho was on Toonami in that time block, but this didn't happen until like way after, like in 2002. Like that's when the Yu Yu Hakusho started airing. So of course that didn't make too much of an impact. But this is like this. I mean, this is between the late 90s and into 2000, 2001. It was when I was really watching a lot of the Toonami shows in anime, and that's pretty much how I sort of got into it. And I was also like, I love Sailor Moon too, but I was unable to watch because at that point I think they took it off the air, which was sad, but I still collected the toys and everything, so Sailor Moon was a huge part of my childhood. When I started middle school, my sister and I became aware of the existence of manga, which were sometimes the original source material of anime, and sometimes the other way around, and sometimes it's a light novel, but manga came into our awareness at that point, and my sister's first manga was Chobits. Mine was like a Comic Party Doujinshi collection. Kind of weird one to start with, but I didn't know any better at that point. So that's when we became aware of manga, and that's when we finally became aware that what we've been watching the whole time was anime. So we had a computer, we did more research, we found out like all kinds of like why Sailor Moon was taken off the air, and we found out that a lot of the ones we used to watch were bad dubs. Middle school was like when we finally started to realize what everything we've been watching in our childhood was. And we inevitably went through our weeboo phases. I mean, if you got into anime, you had to have gone through it. Like I've been through it. Like I have no shame admitting that I've been through the weeboo phase. Like I got Pocky, Ramune, got how to learn Japanese books, how to learn manga books. I did all that stuff, so... And I tried speaking broken Japanese. Yeah, I'm guilty of that, too. But, I mean, it's kind of hard not to go through that phase. Like, and we also thought that Japan was, like, the best country in the world because of the anime, but now I look back to it, and it's just... what was I thinking? But hey, you have to go through that phase in order to get to where we are here. I still kind of have a little bit of weeb in me. I mean, come on. I mean, it's not going to go away. You're still going to have that one little tiny percent of it in you, as much as you deny it, but I don't try to speak broken Japanese or anything like that. I don't buy Pocky all the time, or Ramune. Like, I only buy it if I really want to, but I hardly do that at all. Like, I've tasted so many different snacks and stuff, so that's pretty much what I did. I think the first anime that I watched that I realized it was anime, I don't remember what it was. I think it was Inuyasha. Back then, in 2004, 5, Inuyasha was like the big craze back then, along with Fruits Basket and a few others, but Inuyasha was like the big hit. I remember I watched it, and I didn't realize how bad it actually is back then, but I did watch it. And then from there, I just started to do research and discover even more anime. Like, at that point, I was really, really, really big into Magical Girls. I still kind of am. But back then, I wanted to watch every single Magical Girls show because I love Sailor Moon and Carve Sakura so much that I wanted to discover some more. So I watched Tokyo Mew Mew. I didn't finish it, but I watched some of it. And I think I watched a few others. I don't remember what ones, but no, Tokyo Mew Mew was one of them. And then I think Ohoje Maho Doremi was one of them too. And I think we tried watching Pretty Cure. Of course, this is back when it was only like Futariwa and Splash Star. Of course, Futariwa was really the only thing you could really watch. Again, if you wanted anime, you had to, like, best is back, I mean, Funimation was still around, but they didn't have a whole lot of anime titles. They had the most, like, the popular ones and stuff. So if you want to watch anything that was, like, not licensed by any anime company, you had to, like, download torrents. Like, there was really no anime sites or, like, YouTube, so if you wanted to watch an anime, you had to either find them on, like, forums or torrents. and that's pretty much the only way you could ever watch anime that isn't licensed. So it was a bit difficult. But now, the anime library has it's extended quite a lot. Now, like, companies are licensing anime, and you got Crunchyroll now, and you get Funimation, Simulcast, and you got all this other stuff. So, watching anime that's airing is a lot easier now than it has been in the past. So, it's a lot easier than when I first started watching anime. And then I also got a lot of manga from the library, and I kept reading a lot of manga during my middle to high school days. I started reading a shit ton of manga, and I try to watch a lot of anime. So that's pretty much how I expanded my knowledge of anime in those years, and that's pretty much it. That's how I got into anime, was watching it on Toonami and TV in the 90s, and then learning about other anime in the mid-2000s, and going through the weeaboo phase and all that stuff. Which leads me to the next thing, which is how I got into cosplay, which, of course, this connects to my middle school days. I think I was in 8th grade, and I went to my very first anime convention, which was Anime Boston 2006. That was my very first anime convention, and the whole world of cosplay opened to me at that point. When I saw a bunch of Sailor Moon cosplays, I was so happy to see that. I saw all this, I got to get some Japanese merch, which I never thought I could get my hands on at that point. And I got to see a bunch of other people dressed up, so I didn't really know what cosplay really was back then. So I think that's when it came to me. In high school, I went to my second anime convention, which was Anime Boston 2008, which was known as LineCon. Yeah, I spent 5 hours of my life in a fucking line. 5-hour line. Yep, that really happened to me. So, I saw even more cosplayers, because I feel like the cosplayers, number of cosplayers were increasing year by year. I think back in 2006, not many people were doing it. It didn't become mainstream, but there's still a good amount of people. But I feel like non-cosplayers are kind of outnumbering the cosplayers at that point. But then in 2008, I can see that the cosplayers have they've grown in number. And of course, I saw it, and I kind of wanted to do it back then, but I didn't really know if I really wanted to do it. Of course, I've had thoughts of doing it, but instead I don't think I would ever do it. So I remember I did want to make a cosplay for Anime Boston 2009, but that never happened. My grandmother did so I wanted us to make a cosplay together, but that never happened, and I was never able to go to Anime Boston 2009. I mean, when you're in high school, it's really hard to go to cons and stuff, so that's why I probably didn't go to too many in my high school days. But it wasn't until 2011 It wasn't until Anime Boston 2011 is when my drive to cosplay really skyrocketed. I told myself I am cosplaying to Anime Boston 2012, and with no questions asked. I was going to cosplay no matter what at that point. So, I bought a cosplay, and then I bought a Sakura Shinguji cosplay, because I want to start off with something different. I didn't want to start with the same stuff that everyone else starts with, so I ordered a Sakura Shinguji cosplay, and I went to Anime Boston 2012, and that's when my love of cosplay started. I wanted to cosplay Mami Tomoe in 2011. I even made sketches and plans for that cosplay, but I don't know why I never did any of it. Oh well, but I didn't mean to make that costume until 2014, which I'm glad I was able to make it myself instead of buying it, because it means more. But that's how I got into cosplay, and now I know a little bit more about me, so that's it for this video. I'm probably going to do another video about the recent Madoka Magica trailer that they released. I'm probably going to do a video of that, my thoughts of that concept trailer, because it came out literally last night, and I want to make a video about it, so I figured I'd do some of this stuff before we get into the AAC stuff, so I will see you in that video. Bye.